Good morning, YouTube. Tire Metalhead Weatherman here. Hopefully you guys are doing well. In this video, we're going to do a quick touch up on the weekend forecast. It's going to be a very quick video in comparison to the recent ones, so make sure you're hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, because we're going to get into this pretty fast here. So, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the severe weather outlook. Oh boy. No rest for the wicked, and it's really unfortunate when you see which areas these are in. Today's slight risk includes a very familiar area now. It seems like we can't seem to get away from severe weather out here in the Midwest here and parts of the Ohio Valley, and this tries to even sneak into the southeast a little bit towards the Appalachians. Also have to look at the western high plains once again for severe threat. There is a 2% tornado threat in both of these areas, mainly over towards Illinois and Kentucky once again, southwestern Indiana, and even a small chunk, and I mean a very small chunk of Missouri here. Then over towards the western high plains, of course, we have our 2%er. And then the wind threat, it's pretty much encompassing the entire slight risk area and marginal risk areas. Marginal risk areas push pretty far to the south here, including Fort Stockton, Texas, even as far south as maybe Albany, Georgia. This even stretches as far east as maybe even Charleston, Virginia, not Richmond, Virginia. I misread that. And then there's Pittsburgh involved here too, Fort Wayne, Des Moines. A lot of familiar areas under the gun once again. And then we have our two hail risk areas here with slight risk. Western high plains, you can always get big hail, just about any setup at this point. And then also we have over towards where our 2% tornado area is, our 15% chance of wind exists there as well. Although it stretches a little bit further south towards Clarksville, Nashville, Bowling Green, Louisville, Springfield, Illinois, Hannibal, Missouri, and others. We even can't forget St. Louis. Going into day 2, go up to an enhanced risk, and guess where it is? Right over the same area. This time we're even including Jefferson City as well as St. Louis. We got Louisville in there as well. We're south of Springfield and Indianapolis this time. But Evansville, you are under the gun as well. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on the weather there. Still only a 2% area of tornadoes. It's actually a little bit off to the east of where the enhanced risk is, interestingly enough. We'll get into that setup a bit more tomorrow morning. And then also we have a 30% wind area, which is the reason why we have our enhanced risk. And then the hail threat currently is at 15% with no hatched risk area. We go into day 3. We have a very large slight risk area that's developed once more. And they're still seeing it in the same areas, which is insane. And now we're starting to get the mid-Atlantic into action. We're even getting DC, Philadelphia, Baltimore. We got Richmond in there again, Charleston, West Virginia in there. This time we got Springfield, Ohio, Cincinnati, Columbus, many other areas. Even Nashville's getting into the action, as well as Jackson, Tennessee. So far the hazard types for this day are unknown relatively, but I'm willing to bet that it will most likely be wind here. We're going to take a look at the models and kind of confirm that. There's also a day 4 slight risk, but that's not a part of the weekend. It's Monday. We'll take a look at the weather for that probably either tomorrow or Sunday. That being said, let's take a look at the weather setup here. I'm starting to get better at reading the 200 millibar map. I wasn't great at it at first. It's not like I really should have been doing anything different, but it's just kind of a throw off at first. But here's what we're looking like with today's setup. Here's our trough right here, and here's our surge of wind here. It's got a little bit of that classic ski jump look to it, albeit it's a very broad area out west. And it's going to be, of course, on the flank of these where we would expect severe development if there's going to be any. And lo and behold, looking at our sounding, that's exactly what we find. We have decent lapse rates here, nothing amazing. downward cape is the most impressive thing with the setup, so damaging winds is most likely going to be what we end up seeing from this setup out towards the west. Not to say that there can't be tornadoes, but from the way things look right now, it's more than likely going to be damaging winds, probably outflow dominant supercells. And as we get over towards the east here, I'm not really seeing anything super impressive at this point. Maybe later into the evening and even into the overnight here, we could see something a little bit more impressive. Looking at this sounding here is a lot of inhibition, so this little maximum here isn't concerning. When we get into tomorrow, however, do see a little bit of a jet streak that tries to develop out to the north here. Maybe this area over towards Indiana becomes of interest, and lo and behold, here we go. Does look a little stable on this QT chart slightly, but the storm relative felicity is pretty strong, and then also there is a decent bit of kinematics. Nothing incredible, so to speak, but sufficient enough to be concerned about tornadoes. The instability is definitely good. Interestingly enough, the mixed layer instability is higher than the surface, which is kind of interesting. Might just be the NAM doing NAM things. But anyway, just an example of one thing to watch as we head into Saturday night and maybe even into Sunday. Then on Sunday itself, not a super impressive setup. I'm leaning more so towards maybe the mid-Atlantic and Northeast to get severe weather early in the day. Take a look here. It's marginal severe at this point. A little bit of convective inhibition, but not much. But the real threat with that will most likely be damaging winds. No surprises there. Downward cape is high. Lapse rates are low. Kinematically speaking, not an impressive setup. So definitely something that we'll still have to watch here, but at least the tornado threat with this day will be minimal. And then, of course, Monday we have to watch for the next setup, but we'll get into that one in a later video because I'm limited with how far I can look into Monday to begin with. So that's a basic overview. Again, I'll get more in depth by tomorrow with some of these other setups here, because really I only have one model to look at that allows me to go far enough so I can take that deeper dive, so to speak. Let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures for the weekend. And, well, I already warned you guys earlier in another video, it's going to be pretty hot. Really, no one's getting away from it. Even if you expected to have below average temperatures, it's summertime. So, that being said, we already know the deal here. Towards a large part of the country, there's even widespread triple digits here. Even into Missouri here, towards the Missouri-Illinois line, which is crazy. Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Kansas. This is nothing new for you guys, but look how far north these triple digits stretch, even into north central California here, which is pretty crazy. And then as we continue to go forward here, I think I even saw 110 over towards the Baja here, which is going to be pretty rough, because usually with that we end up seeing some pretty decent dew points as well, and humidities. That being said, we go into Saturday, it's a pretty similar deal, and even Sunday it's no different. Maybe a little bit more in the way of storm coverage Sunday, but even so, not getting away from the heat. Nobody is. Unless you're in the mountains where it's going to be more so towards 60 and 70, and this is towards the mountain tops. Make sure the AC is working. Make sure you got plenty of good water, preferably cold, or at least in my case, preferably cold. And good luck to you. And then Monday, it's a pretty similar deal as well. As far as severe weather setup is concerned, we'll just go ahead and look at the Cape for now. Not going to get too far in depth into anything, but this is probably a big part of why there's concern for severe weather today. Cape it over oh wow, 8,000 joules per kilogram. I hope that's the NAM just glitching out here, but if it isn't, oh man, that's going to be crazy to see. Those are ridiculous values. Sometimes the NAM does have a tendency to overdo things here, and we could be seeing that, but at the same time, with the high dew points along with super hot temperatures, this can happen. I don't know if it necessarily will be 8,000 joules per kilogram, but I'll be looking into it throughout the day. But as we go into Sunday here, we get also pretty explosive kick from the looks of it early in the day, and this kind of lingers even into Monday here. So hopefully this isn't completely right, but it looks like we have plenty of instability, and even in a marginal risk area with this kind of instability, storms can be very explosive and still pulse severe at the very least. So last but not least, let's go ahead and take a look at what reflectivity could look like. So here's the reflectivity. We could see storms popping up around 03Z, which would be about 11 o'clock my time, so about 10 central across the western high plains. Actually, it would be a little earlier than that, more so towards like 7 central time. But most of the severe weather threat, as far as the NAM is concerned, is going to more so be out west. We could see something over here towards Illinois, but nothing really impressive heading into Friday night here. Saturday looks a little bit more interesting. Could be some late evening storms from the looks of it on NAM, but again, NAM can be a little bit dodgy at times. Hate using it, but I'm trying to make sure that I get something out to you guys in regards to the weekend's forecast. This is just more or less a rough idea, not a full-fledged forecast. But as we go into Sunday, see a little bit more organized of a severe setup here. Almost looks like a squall line tries to develop here towards the mid-Atlantic, maybe the Tennessee Valley as well, heading into Sunday night and then into Monday. And then we have to watch for even more storms possible as we head into the 3rd. That being said here, though, it's the end of this video. If you liked what I did here, you know what to do. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and decimate that share button. Also, face kick that bell if you want to see every video that I put up from here on out, including the live streams. But either way, appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll see you in the next video. This has been Ty, Metalhead Weatherman. Have a good day.